Hey, how's it going, guys? In this video I'm gonna share with you how I prepare my table tennis paddle. So first things first, take them out of the packaging and apply one layer of glue. These are Chinese rubbers, by the way. The blue sponge does soak up liquid more, I noticed, so make sure to put more glue on there. Alright, so once you put that layer of glue, just let it sit for about 15 minutes. Let it clear up and dry. And after that, you're ready for the next step. So, for the first layer, I usually put a generous amount of booster. And here we're using Falco long booster. This is my first time putting on a blue sponge, and I noticed it does soak up more. So, either put less or just do one layer. But here, it's my first time. I put a nice generous layer and I let it sit for about 24 hours. Alright, so after that 24-hour period, you'll notice that the rubbers basically dome in. That's perfectly normal. That's just because the sponge is expanded. And at this point, when it's the first layer is dry, you can apply that second layer. So generally, I would recommend adding a thinner layer than the first. And again, if this is blue, I'd probably stop here and just let it go. But again, I put another layer. And for this, it takes about 2 to 4 days, depending on how much you put. For me, this took about 4 days because of how intense the rubbers dome. Okay, so after the 4-day window of drying and letting the rubber relax, you're ready to glue it onto your blade. So first things first, on the blade I put a nice generous layer of glue and set that aside, and do the same for the rubber. And again, this takes about 15 minutes or so to dry up. It doesn't take too long. When it's ready, all you gotta do is line it up from the base, so towards the handle, and use something round, like a plastic bottle, or if you have a wooden roller, to basically roll it evenly so no air bubbles form. And if you're wondering why I had the paper there, just in case I mess up or something, it wouldn't stick. So, okay, so roll it nice and even, make sure you get the edges. And for me, I like to get a book or something heavy and just let it sit on top for about 15 minutes just to make sure it holds. Alright, and after that, I just take a pair of scissors and just cut the excess rubber off. You can do this with a razor too, but you really need a sharp razor, and I didn't have one at the time, so I didn't. Alright, that's one side. So it's basically the same process for the other side. Since I play penhold, it's a little different. My forehand, I put a little higher so I can get my fingers around that. So here I just have my old blade as reference, and I just kind of noted where to put the glue. Alright, so I put it on the rubber as well, let that sit for 15 minutes. And same process. This is a little tricky because you want to make sure you make it even. I just use like the text as a guide to make sure it's parallel. Alright, I did that really quick, or I sped it up, but I basically did the same thing. I let it sit for 15 minutes with the book on top. Cut off the excess rubber. And after that, you're all done. You're ready to play.